Hey, welcome back to the CK Effect. I hope you're all enjoying the journey of finding your person. If you've listened to my last episodes, you'll know that we spoke about what happens when we're swiping, looking for the perfect person, what happens after you match, and the first date. These are all exciting parts of the journey and can continue for a while. But one thing, never give up. There is someone out there for everyone. It takes time, and all you need to do is be you and be willing to get to know the person. So now you've matched, you've dated, and things are starting to feel real. But now comes the part that isn't always cute Instagram stories or butterflies. It's the real work of building something solid. Today we're going to talk about how to sustain a relationship. No games, no drama, just the honest truth. If you want a relationship to last, it does take communication, patience, and emotional maturity. We often go through life saying that relationships are hard. But you know what? Relationships aren't hard. It is us as people that we make it hard. We overcomplicate things and never really take the time to learn how we can handle and resolve matters in a healthy and mature way. One thing I've learned personally is that nothing will be resolved if you don't want to talk about it. When I started dating my husband, now Lee, I was a typical person who, if I didn't agree with him or didn't get the answer I thought was the right one, I'd get upset, throw my toys out the cot, wouldn't speak, storm out of the room. And I waited for him to follow me, to chase after me, because deep down I thought I was in the right and he was in the wrong. But you know what? I learned the hard way that he wasn't going to come running. He was going to wait for me to come back so that we could talk. And that's all that was needed, was just to talk. Sit down and talk about what our differences are and trying to find the understanding. Maybe there's something there that, just made it feel different where we didn't agree. But if you talk it through, it also helped me see it from his side and he saw it from my side. Relationships aren't built on sulking and silence. They're built on communication, respect, and emotional honesty. I have learned so much along the years from my relationship with Lee. People who know him and know me, he's the calm one. I'm the speak before I think type. And that's not always a good thing. But the balance between us has helped me grow so much. He's taught me to pause, to really think about what the best way forward is. Rather than acting on emotion, think about it. Even if you have to, revisit a conversation once you're calmer or the next day, it's the best way to go. Often words come out and we regret it. Together, we've built our relationship with the building blocks of communication, trust, and of course, being present with one another. We don't just talk, we dig deeper. If one of us is asking something, we ask why. Why does it make you feel that way? What's really going on? What happened that, you made it feel that way for yourself? Because sometimes what we're reacting to on the surface isn't the real issue. And we've learned that asking questions, not assuming, opens doors to deeper understanding. Don't be afraid to ask. Ask how they're feeling. Ask what they need. Ask how you can be better for each other. You're on the same team. Two people on the same team working this journey of life together. So why not learn how to play better together? And while we're talking about assumptions, stop assuming your partner knows what you're thinking or feeling. And stop assuming you know what's going on with them. So many relationships get stuck because people guess instead of asking. And when you guess, you get it wrong more often than not. There are 3 powerful questions. Well, maybe not so powerful, but just 3 questions that I always think people should play in their mind. And ask yourself this. Can I tell the person I'm with anything? Am I the best version of myself when I'm with them? And do I feel safe? Just being me. If the answer to any of these are no, maybe it's time to reevaluate. If you're in the right relationship, a real strong connection means open to feedback, being vulnerable, and never fearing that the other person is there to tear you down. You should always feel uplifted, supported, even in the tough conversations. And trust me, There are a lot of tough conversations that one has to go through in life. And I always believe if you can't have those tough conversations in the relationship with you now, how are you going to manage if things don't work out between your partner and you need to go into another relationship? Always try and resolve and be the best version in the relationship you are. Have regular check-ins. Sit down monthly and ask, how are we doing? Is there anything I can do better? Anything you need from me? We're always striving to grow personally, so why not grow within our relationships too? I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story, and hopefully Lee doesn't kill me on this one, but just as an example, Lee and I hit a bit of a rough patch. Not in a bad way, just a little bump in the road a few years ago. Things felt stale. But you know what? When people are busy with work and life and just not being present when you need to be present with each other, it puts distance between you and it feels like you're drifting apart. And that's what happened to us. But you know what? When you know that you want to be with someone, you actually sit down and talk about it. And you actually put plans in place on how you can become better in your relationship. So we decided to start doing fortnightly check-ins just to connect, to talk, to see how we were both doing. And you know what? It worked. We found our rhythm. And now look where we are. We're married, right? It wasn't always easy because we had so many obstacles along the way, but we put in the effort. We made a conscious decision to prioritize each other again, to choose each other every single day. That's what lasting love looks like. It's in the choosing. Another thing I quickly want to talk about is about comfort zones, because maintaining or sustaining a relationship also means stepping out of yours. Lee and I are totally different people, completely opposites, different interests. But you know what? Let's be honest. Sometimes that's where couples fall apart. But I decided that I was going to give everything a yes rather than say no. So a little bit of an example for you. Camping as an example. People who know me, and I've said to them I'm going camping, they actually started laughing. Like, really? Camping? You camping? Well, yes, I'm going camping. But Celeste, you know there's no hot showers. You can't take your hair dryer. You're not going to have a comfortable bed. I know. Anyway, I gave it a try. And I loved it. And I still do. Another example is jet skiing. We both wanted to give it a go. I've always got this fear of sharks attacking me while out on the water. But you know what? We go out there, we spend the day on the water, and we enjoy it. And it's one of our favorite things to do. Another example is mountain bike riding. Trust me, I've cried through these trips on mountain bike riding because it was so hard. But that's what creates team building, because you're building each other, you're uplifting each other through the whole thing. And I enjoy it. These weren't just new hobbies that we were doing. They became ways for us to connect, to laugh, to bond. It was like building a team, learning to embrace something unfamiliar because your person loves it. And that's powerful. All the things I once resisted are now the things we embrace together. And that's how you build and maintain balance. Stepping out of your comfort zone doesn't just help your partner feel valued. It helps you grow too. You might find joy in unexpected places. It's about showing up and being present, saying yes when it counts, letting go of old mindsets that say, that's not for me, and instead asking, could this bring us closer? And don't underestimate the power of doing the small things, leaving notes, making their favorite meal, planning a date night, giving compliments. These little acts of love create emotional security and remind your partner that they matter. Relationships don't just die from the big fights. They crumble in the absence of consistent connection. Remember, relationships need maintenance. We all drive, right? Most of us drive. So like a car, they don't run smoothly if you ignore the signs. Check in, tune up, refuel the connection. Reevaluate and realign where you're at, individually and as a couple. So my advice to you, whether you're on your journey, communicate. Be brave enough to speak your truth. Learn what your partner needs. Be willing to grow. Try new things together, even if they seem a little scary or out of your usual vibe. That's where the magic happens. It's not about perfection. It's about commitment, compassion, and showing up every single day. Love is not a passive feeling, it's an action, a choice, a practice. And for me, people, that's the real CK effect. I thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. And if there's anything else you want to talk about, let me know.